Okay, hello there. So now I'm going to get you ready for the next foldable that we need to do. So you have several sheets of colored paper that were attached to these. So I need you to find the 4 sheets of colored paper, and what you're going to do to each of them is you're going to fold it as a diagonal, and then you're going to fold this over, and then what you're going to do is cut that piece off. And the reason you're going to cut that piece off is what I want is 4 squares. Okay, so I have done it to 1 where I have 1 square, so I want you to do that to the 4 others. So I'll stop it right now so you can cut those 4 pieces. Okay, so I've cut it so I have the 4 squares. Then what I want you to do to each of the squares is you already have it folded in one diagonal. So now what I want you to do is fold it in half both directions. So 1/2 going in one direction and then go the other direction. Okay, so you have 1 diagonal fold and then you have 2 half folds both directions. Okay, and we'll adjust it for what we need in a minute, but you need to do that on all the pages. Okay, pause again. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to take one of these and I want you to do a reverse fold, which means on that diagonal, I want you to push the diagonal in. See how you can push it in like that. Push the other diagonal in. And it should, see how it goes like that? It should just go into a smaller square. Okay, so again, what I've done is on the diagonals, you see where they the diagonals are here and they go in, you just push the diagonals into each other and bring those down. So you should have 4 smaller squares. So if you look at them on the inside, it looks like that. So the diagonal guys go in and you kind of close it up, makes a smaller square. So you do that 4 times. So here's what it looks like. So find your diagonal, push the diagonals towards each other. Let me do that. Push the diagonals towards each other, and then the sides should fold up, make a smaller square. So you got 4 of those. Okay, so with the 4 of these, here's what I want you to do. Do you see how one has the loose ends at the top and one diagonal has the solid part? All right, so the first one, I want the solid part to be towards you. Okay, so I'm holding it so I can see it. So here's my solid part and here are my loose ends there. Okay, the next color that I want to use, and it doesn't matter which one, do it the opposite direction. Solid part up and corners down. Put it underneath. Okay, so I have one here, solid, loose, and then the one underneath is solid, loose. And they just go right on top of each other. Okay, so now that one that's underneath had loose down below, so I want to take my next color and solid goes below with loose on top. And then the last one is solid on top with loose below. Okay, solid on top, loose below. So you should have them in a stack. The top one has loose on top, solid on bottom. And then you go to the next one down, which should be, this is solid on bottom. Then I have loose on bottom, solid up top, and then I have solid and then loose. So it should alternate on that diagonal. Okay, now with these, I want you to just glue the top and the bottom. Glue those together. So the ones that are right on top of each other, just glue. So that one glues to that one glues to that one glues to that one. Okay, so solid to top and then glue them, and I'll show you what it's going to look like. All right, so keeping those in the same order, solid, loose, and then the next one underneath, solid, loose. I glued them together, not changing the order. And so here's what it should look like when you unfold it. If you hold the bottom one, it should open up like a nice thing, like this. Ooh. Okay, if you've done it right, and then when you fold it back, it should go right back together. See how that is? Just open, and then it should fold right back nicely. So make sure you've got it. So if you've opened it, it'll be one big long zigzaggy paper like this. And fold it all right back together in a nice little compact pouch. All right, so once you get this together, then I'm going to send you pictures of the basic constructions that are going to go into that booklet. Okay, so these are the basic constructions, and then we'll put those in the booklet so that you have it all together. Okay, so make sure you have that booklet, and then the next steps, we're going to cut these pieces out and assemble them there, and I will show you what the final product needs to look like. Okay, so once you've got this guy assembled, what you want to do is just pull it open, leave it open, okay, lay it down on the desk, and you're going to put everything together so it looks like this. Okay, so can you see mine? So there's one. So copy and angle, you're going to put the directions on one side, the construction right next to it, perpendicular line, the construction right next to it, all the way down the line. Okay, perpendicular bisector, the construction right next to it. It doesn't matter which of the diagonals you put it on, just those two go together. Then the next one down says bisect an angle, and the construction goes right with it. And the last one, the one I gave you, doesn't say equilateral triangle. The one I gave you says square, construct a square, and you're going to put that on those two pieces. Okay, so hopefully that goes well for you. You have these, so all you need is to cut out one of the squares with its adjoining construction, and that should go on one of your faces. Then here's another one of the squares with one of the adjoining faces, and you just want to stagger it so it goes down that waterfall page. So you're going to be doing copy it. You don't need to do copy a segment. Let's just ignore that one. Let's do copy an angle. Let's do bisect an angle. Okay, bisect an angle would be these two. Bisect an angle. The two perpendicular line ones, so there's one of them, there's two of them. And bisect a segment, here's that one, and a square. Okay, so in the end, you should have, you can see what I got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 constructions on there. I think that's what we've got. So 5 different constructions on those pages. Let me double check to make sure we have 5. So we have bisect a segment, perpendicular lines, 2 of those, so that's 1, 2, 3, bisect an angle, and copy an angle. So the one you don't need to put on there are 2 of them. You don't need to put on the one that says square, and you don't need to put the one that says copy a segment. Okay? So I hope that's not too confusing, but you're going to want to put those on there. See how I did it? So that you can see the construction next to a blank example. Construction next to a blank example. And you just do it all the way down, and then you're going to fold it back up into the nice little booklet. Okay, so that's what the finished product looks like. Okay, so that should be helpful. If you have any questions, you can holler. Thanks.